So here I am in the wonderful surrounds of the alley down the side of the gym. It's too bright around the corner. It's some weird February summer, and it's too loud in the gym. So here we are. I'm going to talk about stress today, and you'll hear me talk about it a lot in the upcoming videos, and generally mentioning it a lot in terms of how our bodies adapt. What we want to be thinking about with stress is how it affects us systemically, and the fact that almost everything we do is a potential stressor or de-stressor, and it's balancing those out to help us to get adaptation from the training that we do that is the most important thing to find as a coach or as an athlete or as just someone who wants to make physical progress. So stress is dictated by our autonomic nervous system, right? And that is divided into two main divisions: the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. The sympathetic is our fight or flight response. This is what is activated when we're training. It's what is activated when we're threatened down an alley by someone with a knife asking for our wallet. It's what was activated back in the hunter-gatherer days when we were hunting our prey. We get an increase in blood sugar, our heart rate goes up, we stop any digestion processes, and generally it allows us to focus on that immediate task at hand and prepares us for a physical response. The parasympathetic is our rest and digest. Heart rate will be lower, digestive processes will be able to continue, we'll feel mega chilled out, and it's where we recover from the stress, the sympathetic response. Now, if we think about our bodies as a cup, okay? The body as an organism as a cup, and into that cup goes any number of stresses in a given day. So we fill the cup up with stressors because in daily life, in the Western world, we are bombarded with things that cause us a sympathetic stress response. So if we think about anything that causes us stress or anxiety, we get a physical reaction from that, and I'm sure you can all relate to that. Think about having an argument with your spouse, getting some really bad news on the phone, being late for an important meeting, that stress of having to meet a deadline at work, maybe you're self-employed and your business is struggling and you wake up with that gnawing anxiety, that butterfly stomach in the feeling. That's all sympathetic response. And the problem is that day to day we are chronically, generally speaking, in a sympathetic mode. I call it sympathetic tone, and often you can tell people when they're like chronically sympathetic, their faces are drawn, they're tense, they're on edge, they struggle to relax, you can't get them to focus on anything. And I think a lot of us are unconsciously and unknowingly in that sympathetic response. What we need to do is we need to activate our parasympathetic response, and that has to be done actively. We have to actively go out of our way to activate that. So going back to the day-to-day stressors, we fill that cup up and the cup overflows eventually, and that is where we stop adapting to stress. Okay, our body just refuses. And if we're talking about losing body fat, getting stronger, getting fitter, being healthier, living a longer life, this is a really important principle to understand, because sometimes training more, dieting harder can actually cause you to go backwards and your body stops responding because we're overloading it with that sympathetic response. So hopefully that gives you a basic understanding of the principles around stress and how our body adapts to stress, what I mean by sympathetic and parasympathetic, and I'm going to go on in further videos to talk about how we can activate the two or deactivate one of them, and how we can use these tools and this knowledge to improve our response to training and to improve our progress within the gym, within body fat, in our body fat goals, and also in relation to just living longer lives and being a bit healthier.